Friday morning, everybody. It's July 16th, 2021, and as you can see, I'm back in my happy place yet again. This is the Jim Thorpe train station in Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania. And what you see behind me is the steam engine 425, which I was actually up here to ride last Friday, but you're going to see that video after you see this video. So if I just rode that train a week ago, why am I back here today? Well, obviously, I'm here to ride the train. Big shock, right? But today's ride's going to be a little bit of a special one. Today's train is being pulled by the diesel, not the steam locomotive. And in just a minute or two, we're actually going to see the prior trip come back to the station. And the reason I'm here to ride what sounds like an ordinary diesel excursion is I'm going to have a special seat on that train today. That's right, I'm going to be riding in the red Caboose today, and I'm going to be doing it with fellow YouTubers. This was set up by JPVideos. We also have Alan from Revenge of the Apocalypse, mattPG, Nick and Nikki from NixCrossing, RJ78 Productions. So all six of us, well actually Nikki's going to be riding in the open air car, the rest of us are going to be riding in the Caboose. And as you can hear, here comes the diesel. Let's watch it come in. Folks, the lovely red Caboose that me and my YouTube friends are going to be riding in on the next train. And there is the Autumn Breeze open air car. That is the car that I rode in last Friday. In fact, I was on the very end seat. So you're actually going to see some good footage out of the rear deck of that car on the ride back. And as I said, I will be posting this video first. And I don't normally do my videos out of order, but I know I've been giving you guys a lot of video from Jim Thorpe lately. I did the steam engine ride last weekend more for me because last year's footage got screwed up and I really wanted to redo, plus I have this new camera which does a better job. But I'm thinking the Caboose ride might be more interesting for people to watch, so I'd be thrilled if you watched both, but I know I'm hitting you guys up with a lot of trains and I certainly understand if you only catch the one. Anyway, there's our YouTube guys all crowded around the steam engine. So I'm going to go join them and let's take a ride in that Caboose. Okay.
Make sure you turn on the air conditioning first.
This is it.
Go fast.
It's up full speed. Now, like I told those gentlemen, this car is yours for today. Okay, I'm here if you have any questions. I don't want to be pushy on you. If you need me, ask me something. If not, I'll stay out of your road so you can, film or whatever. The windows do open. You can go up there if you want. You can stand up back if you want. Like I said, it's your caboose for today.
I'll ask you a couple quick questions if you don't mind.
Sure, no.
What's the history of this caboose? Do you know like where it originated from, when it was built?
It was built in 1936.
Okay.
Where it was built, I'd have to ask the conductor. I'm not really sure, but it was 1936 is when it was built.
You know like which rail company you belonged to?
I'd have to ask him.
Okay.
I don't want to, make believe. I learned that with rail fans a long time ago. They'll ask you a question, and if you say, "Oh, was made by the Reading Company," they'll say, "No, it wasn't." It's like, "God, it's like, why'd you ask me?"
The trick question.
Yeah.
Stove and stuff?
Right over there's the bathroom. Here's your stove. That's your water tank and your ice bucket.
Okay.
These things weren't on originally. These things were the only thing on. With the caboose, this weren't bunk beds like we tell the kids. It was called the cupola.
Mm-hmm.
They went up there to make sure the train wasn't on fire because cars were made of wood.
With the hot boxes too.
Yep, and they checked along the tracks, make sure nothing was on fire. That's mainly what they did. Gotcha. And they slept down there, and the conductor was there. I need a rip, but I'm the conductor in the Polar Express, right?
But do we get hot chocolate?
No, I do much believe in the tickets for the kids sometimes.
Nice. Well, there we go. All right, everyone, this is literally an item off my bucket list to go for a train ride in a caboose. And I am riding today, as you know, on the Lehigh Gorge Scenic Railway. We are leaving Jim Thorpe Station.
Well, we're off. We're going to pick up speed rapidly. My girlfriend's on the street. We're going to be passing the station on my right, to your left. And there's 425.
I've got 425 parked here today, but not running, but I did get to ride behind it last week. There, we got the truck parked over there, and we're going to be entering the rail yard. Yep. This is the bike train that we're passing by. And I've talked about the bike train in other videos. You'll see at the front the gondola cars that they put the bikes in. We're not up to them yet. So that train will take you up to Whitehaven. You get a 25-mile train ride. There's an old caboose, and here's the gondola cars. And then they drop you off in Whitehaven, and you're on your own to pedal back the 25 miles to town. I did it 6 years ago, and when I'm a little more fit, I hope to do it again. There's the water tank and other tender for $4.25. And coming up here, you'll see the rail yard and the turntable. Coming up on the one of the little buildings here. There's another old tender. I'm not sure if that belongs to 225 or what that goes to. Got some maintenance equipment, and here we got the turntable. And then off to the other side, we'll get a better look at it on the way back. You got one of their diesels, some old rail cars and cabooses. Got a little switcher diesel here, and you can see the bridge and the town of Jim Thorpe fading into the background. You can see off to the left here, this is the bike trail. Biked this many times. This is where I had the recent video of chasing the train back into the rail yard on the e-bike.
little thing about riding in the back here. Some selfie stand there.
We've got mattPG and JPVideos along for the ride. And inside the Caboose, we got RJ and we got Nick and Alan. And we should be coming up on Nesquehoning Junction here. Last 2 times through, I was able to catch other trains waiting to go through the switch. 2 times ago, it was diesels. Last week, it was the Budliners. I have a feeling we're not going to see anything today, but you never know. Turn the camera this way just in case. Actually getting a good look at some of the old structure here. I never really noticed some of that from inside the cars.
Oh, really?
There's the sign from the switch for Nesquehoning Junction. That's the switch there. And we go off to the right, and we'll cross the Lehigh River and head into Lehigh Gorge. And this other rail here, if you followed this to the left, this would go out to Nesquehoning and into Tamaqua and then down into Port Clinton. And there's no other train to greet us here today, but that's okay.
There it is.
It's the old signal tower building, I believe. And trees growing up through the roof now.
This bridge connects to the Old Fort Trestle, which crosses the former Lehigh Valley Railroad, once owned by Mesa Packard. It passes over the Reading and Northern's Lehigh Branch.
This, you got the best view on the whole ride. This is the Lehigh River as it flows back into Jim Thorpe. Get a little bit of cool air coming up from the water.
Really refreshing.
It does. For those of you,
Can I get off the river, Bill?
Sure, why not?
For those of you who can't tell from the video, it's about 90 degrees today and humid, and in some ways I wish this train would move a little faster to give us some air to cool off, but on the other hand, I kind of like that it's going a little slower than usual so we can take in the sights. This is the new freight bridge for Reading and Northern. They used to actually have to bring the freight trains through Nesquehoning Junction and almost into the town of Jim Thorpe. I did catch one there on video once, and then they had to kind of turn it around to bring it back up the line towards Whitehaven, which is where we're headed now. This new freight bridge allows them to just come around the bend and keep going to their destination. This is the old truss bridge. Used to be 2 rail lines going through it. What used to be the second line is now the DNL trail. I have walked and biked through that bridge many times. And then I'm not sure if you caught the rails that go below the bridge. That's the Norfolk Southern line. Right now they got 2 rails on that side. Probably can't see it too well through the trees. Sometimes when I've been up here, they've had long lines of tanker cars parked there. This year I haven't seen them there. They're apparently in use. They've been moved out. I think they were kind of parked more so last year due to lower demand due to, well, you know what, last year was 2020. Now we're getting a good look back at the mountain. If you see that little sort of U in the mountain, off to the left, that's where the Gravity Railroad, they used to have the incline planes off to the left. There was an engine house at the top of the hill, and then there was actually a wood trestle bridge over the mountain. I believe it was in that bend. Maybe it was that one, I'm not sure. I think it was this one. And then the trains would run downhill to Summit Hill. So that was called the backtrack. And then the other part of the Gravity Railroad, which I'd like to bike someday soon, it goes more into town and past the lake, is called the down track. All told, it was an 18-mile round trip. It was actually considered America's first roller coaster. It was used for mining, but people used to ride it for amusement too. And You can imagine if I lived back in that day, I'd be spending a lot of time doing that. And here you can see the Norfolk Southern lines rising up towards our track. They don't combine with it, but they'll eventually level out with it.
Second four-story luxury hotel is one of the highlights of the area, boasting 47 elegant rooms as well as a dining area, tennis courts,
Alright, I lied. One of those lines does combine with this one. It's neat how much more you get to see from the back here.
Hotel boasted year-round tenants as well as notable guests. Built in 1911, a fast-moving brush fire destroyed actually built in 1911, a fast-moving brush fire destroyed the hotel, and the land was left to be reclaimed by another kitchen.
It's a couple Reading and Northern maintenance trucks off there. They've been working on these rails, replacing ties. You can see that one rail there being ready to replace. They've been smoothing things out. They now own all of this track from Jim Thorpe up to the Wilkes-Barre Scranton area. They recently completed the purchase, and now that they own it, they're improving it for ride quality, and they've also committed to running the Lehigh Gorge Scenic Railway for at least another 10 years. And that's a huge relief. You guys can remember my videos from years prior where it seemed like we were going to lose this train forever. There's the turnhole tunnel. We do need to make a separate video of that. We found out the other day there actually used to be a passenger station between these bridges here. Used to be 4 lanes of rail running through there.
Now he's moving.
Hang on for the ride, guys. We're picking up speed. Got the Lehigh River and the D&L Trail off to our left. I don't know how well you can see the river through the trees, but you got some pretty good rapids there, very popular with the kayakers and rafters. This is one of the fastest stretches for the train ride. You probably recognize that I've filmed it go by many times from the trail. We got Nick from NixCrossing with us today.
It's my first time here, so.
I've been begging Nick to come up and check out the Lehigh Gorge Scenic Railway for a while now, and you picked a good day to do it, checking it out from the back deck of the Caboose.
Well, this is Jamie Macon. Check out her channel. She'll be in the description, of course, but my first time here, so she's a local, so thank you so much.
Ah, you're welcome. Anything you want to know, just ask. Viewers of my channel know I spend way too much time up here. I think I gotta start seeing other railroads. I love this one, but there's actually others in Pennsylvania I need to show you. And we got RJ78 Productions. Not sure why we brought him along for the ride, but we did.
You need a comic relief.
We need comic relief. He is right about that, because we're a pretty dull bunch without him.
his
How's
fears.
the view up there, Nick?
Hot. Heat rises, unfortunately.
Yeah, it does.
And I can't see out the window.
We got Alan sitting up on the other bench on the cupola. How's the view up there, Alan?
Hot up on this side, too.
Hot up on that side too. And there we got JPVideos at the other end. Hi, Jay. It's actually cooler inside here. I had wanted to ride up in the cupola, guys, but not quite fit enough to climb. I got about halfway up and said probably not the best move for me being up there, so gonna hang out on the rear deck. I love standing right at the end of the train. Got here we got our end of train device flashing, and if you look down you can see the coupler, see the rails go by. We're about to go through Oxbow Curve, which is the tightest bend on the railroad, and there's a bridge, a suspension bridge that goes overhead. It used to carry a pipeline and now it carries fiber optic cables, so we'll get a good view of that. Just past mile marker 127 on the rail, and those mile markers on this line actually indicate the distance to Penn Station in New York City. So that was 127, we're 127 miles west, or at least west along the tracks, from Penn Station in New York. So we're looking back into Oxbow Bend. If you see that little clearing there, you recall I was recently out here biking and I caught a freight train go through. That was the little clearing I snuck into just in time to catch it go by. I wish I'd been a minute quicker on the bike because it would have been neat to film it going through Oxbow Curve, but anything that I can catch of a train is still good though. Yep. That is a big one.
Probably like a 4 or 5 foot wingspan.
See a waterfall coming up on the right. There's the little little waterfall, guys.
I jump in there right now.
Yeah, me too. Sure looks refreshing on a hot day. And we are coming up to Old Penhaven here. This is the Norfolk Southern line we're looking at. Switches off to what is now a dead end. And then there will be a passing siding. And what they'll do is they'll stop our train and they will bring the diesel around to the front, and hopefully I'll be able to get a good shot of that coupling to the caboose. And then I'll probably find a different view for the ride back, because all we're going to be looking at is going to be the front of the diesel. Although I will get some shots of that because that will be pretty cool. So if you look around there, you can see this is the passing siding. Coming to a stop now. And you can see the switch that we just passed through. So they will bring the diesel around and couple the train.
Handbrake to glide over.
We'll be more than happy to assist you.
There you go, guys.
All right.
He's disconnecting the engine now.
Our engineer today is Tony, and our conductor is Ryan, and our car host back in the caboose is Bill. And I want to thank them all for what is a fantastic ride. Here comes number 2013.
Engineer Tony. Little kid in there. And there's actually people riding in there for a cab ride. Nice.
Alright guys, and you can tell what my next bucket list item's going to be. It's going to be to get a cab ride inside of that diesel.
You can ride in 425 too.
You can ride in 425? Well, okay. Scratch the diesel. We're riding in 425. And the diesel. What the heck?
Do both.
Do both. This is what happens when you put a bunch of YouTubers on a train together.
Yeah, you can't have any fun. You just video.
Everything's on tape.
This 360 cab. Yeah.
Accelerates faster than my van.
So you guys down, so you can see they're connected right to the coupler.
At one time nearly hit the 20s in 1812. The Ace Packer Mansion is on the left.
Grabbing speed!
So like a little kid in the window there. And you can't get cab rides, so there's a mom and a little son up there. Raise them right.
One staying on mansion. There's your representative.
Okay, hold on. Don't pinch your fingers.
Alright guys, here we go. We're going to be heading back to Jim Thorpe.
So we're the last car of the train, we're now the first car of the train behind the locomotive. Here we go. Move that bus! Move that bus! I don't want to see that now.
better breeze going back.
Oh, here.
Come on out.
I think this train's trying to follow us.
I think you're scaring it off and it's trying to get away from us.
It's like this.
Oh wait, I'm the one who scares trains. Got the waterfall. Great shot, RJ. I don't know if you can see that. Here's our comic relief, guys. Mr. RJ78 Productions himself.
The funny guy.
The funny guy. Hey, Bill.
There we go, honey.
Bill's been taking good care of us
I
today.
hope so.
He's been great.
I have been. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
It's my second time up here in a month.
Isn't it cool?
Yeah, we were up here. What was it? It was June, wasn't it?
Ah, no, it was late May. It was before Memorial Day. The weekend.
That's right.
It was the weekend before Memorial Day. Because early June we were out in Altoona.
That's right. That's right.
They have fun?
Yep, absolutely.
Name it again.
Yeah, first day we went to Lakemont Park in Altoona, and then after that we went to Horseshoe Curve on Sunday. And we got to see a train. It had 6 locomotives pulling and 2 pushing.
Yeah, going uphill.
I had my camera going, I think, for 15 minutes when it finally coming up over the hill.
And that's Norfolk Southern over there. I got a video of the service. Oh, wow. So cool. I bet they'll get up. You know, all the rides.
That would be pretty amazing.
Yeah. In all my years, I've only seen one.
That is cool. I've never seen one.
It's a good thing you got that wrist strap on there. I would, 1000% I would drop that.
It gives me a lot of security. That was just the return trip to Roxbow Curve. And hopefully you're seeing some of the river here. Here it's kind of wide, it's high, the rapids aren't as deep, but my God, that looks so refreshing. It is such a hot day today. That's this ride would be absolutely perfect if it was just 10 to 15 degrees cooler, but at least it's sunny, it's not raining. We're all having a great time out here. You got Nick creeping up on me again. How do you like your first ride so far?
Good.
Oh, good.
Nice and steady.
All right, NixCrossing has put his stamp of approval on this railroad.
Definitely approved.
And we got Nikki riding somewhere at the front of the train in one of the open air cars. We'll catch up with Nikki after the ride. This is one of the coach cars. You can see not too many people on it today.
Some of those 29 locks and 20 dams that were used at the canal.
Got one of the little side windows on the Caboose. We actually got a decent breeze coming through that.
Cut out to make the tracks level going through this area. So look at some of the strata already on the rocks. This all was done in the 1800s with pick and shovel wheelbarrows and maybe with the help of a little black powder. Beyond these trees, you can see the portal of the old New Jersey Central Tunnel.
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up when I get home, see how much that is.
Me too.
Yep.
got a lot of rails laid out, a lot of scrap. And over here you have one of the other Reading and Northern diesels. This one's number 3053. And then these old rail cars and cabooses have been parked back here in this corner for as long as I've been riding this railroad, which hard to say how many years, long time, more than a decade. I'd love to see those cabooses fixed up. Yep, go ahead. Now guys, you've seen this place 100 times, you should recognize it. Wonderful ride. Wish this ride never coming up on your right here. That is my favorite steam locomotive in the world. I love that train. Got the beautiful Jim Thorpe train station. My dream ride is now coming to a stop. Gotta say, I enjoyed this very, very, very much. I always wanted to ride in one of these cabooses, and I had a wonderful time. It's the Mansion House Bridge. You got people biking on the trail.
Thank
Have
you,
a wonderful day.
Oh, thank you.
We know, man.